So actually done with the task, like everything. Yeah, everyone just check your mails. Actually, this they are sharing in mails and make sure check your spam. So sometimes it is going to the spam box also. So just please go and check that in your spam. Is there any documents they shared? So actually, I discussed with the team. They said like they have shared the documents for you guys in that what do you say in for Gmail. For your Gmail, they are sharing that documents. So max it is going to the spam basis. So please check that if possible. Even I'll share that in the chart once again, but check with that mail. Like you're asking for that Qbot, all those things you're asking, or you need only that module documentation. I have shared that. Please check in the chart. Right. Yeah. Is there Sheikh Munna? Yeah, Sheikh. Right. Just a second. Yeah, yeah. I saw he did with task actually. So you can see how he did the task. Yeah, keep it up, guy. Like for that only, like I can see you done with the DNS spoofing all these things. The good work, man. Keep going on. Okay. Check Munna here. So you can see even you done with the scam table, how the things work, using, you can see, with the, I hope you practice them, right? No, right? Yeah, great. So you can see he performed the DNS poisoning also here. So DHCP flooding attack. Is that Ershana working for you in the latest version? Yeah, my gosh. Satyaprakash, first of all, just give me the access to your drive now. I told you make it to public. If you keep in private, how can I see that? I told many times, right? But yeah, Munna did that. So you can see he did everything like ARP spoofing using the bitter cap. Mm, even using the bitter cap, he perform the malware analysis also. Can see perform the malware analysis about static and dynamic basis. Right. So make sure everyone try to complete the task. So you can see whatever the task I have given, he completed with practical he did the DHCP poisoning or even DNS. and DHCP starvation attack, you can see how the things work. So is the tool working for you guys in Muna? Like where you got this tool? Is that working in latest version of Kali? Hmm. So actually, yes, Sienna is not working in latest version of latest version of Kali actually. No, no, it's not sudo based. The tool is not working actually. I don't know from where you got this again. Only in Kali Purple it is working. There is a Kali Purple operating system ISO file. You can download that and you can do on that. It's working in that this tool. So not in VM basis, in the image installer of Kali Purple, in that it is working. Can check in that possible. Fine. So what are the countermeasures you guys give for this DHCP spoofing or ARP? I told you to go through the countermeasures. How many have you done with that? Can anyone give me the countermeasures for this sniffing attack? It may be a ARP spoofing or ARP poisoning. What countermeasures you guys will give? What are the mitigation and prevention techniques? Anyone? Just what are the mitigations or prevention techniques you guys will? How will you mitigate? How will you mitigate? What are the countermeasures? Hmm? How will you defend against this sniffing? Hmm? What are the mitigations? Anyone? I think I have given tasks for you, right? I can say only few have done with that. See, project is not a mandatory thing here. Make sure your assignments and your what you can say this test are very important for this program. So make sure try to do the assignments, submit them properly. Okay, very method, and make sure I told you to go through the public scenario. So make like many of them are still not have the access for that. So remember that, right? Most of them like who are not submitted. I'm telling that. Okay. So what were the mitigations? What mitigations did you give for sniffing? So I'll give some restriction mitigations for you. So first thing is MAC binding. So the first thing you need to do is MAC binding. So you need to permanently add this MAC address of the gateway to your ARP cache. If you observe in last session, we have sent some fake ARP request to the target. So it is automatically accepting that and changing the MAC address of the gateway of victim's MAC address. Victim system, there is a ARP table. In that, it is automatically changing the ARP table, right? So the victim's ARP table with the MAC address of attackers. So if you bind this MAC address, we call this as a dynamic ARP inspection scenario, where you can bind the MAC address of the gateway to the ARP table permanently in a manual scenario, then we can easily prevent that. Why? Because when I send any fake request, automatically it will check with the table. If MAC address is not matching with the table, it will deny the fake ARP request. So on that basis, you need to manually add the MAC address of the gateway to the ARP tables. That is what you have to do. And MAC binding you can do there. And next thing is use some static IP address and ARP table to prevent these kind of attacks. When a spoofed ARP entries for machine in the network, you can easily like defend against that particular attack. And next thing is use IPv6 instead of IPv4. Right. And use the encrypted sessions means uh, even though if spoof happen, what they're doing, they're stealing our data, the credentials. Why? Because they're sending in plain text. So when you use these protocols, your data will be sent in plain text. So use encrypted sessions. Remember, means use SSH instead of your telnet. Use secure copy instead of FTP. Use SSL for email connections, and use HTTPS instead of HTTP. Right. So like these kind of things. So to protect your wireless network users against the sniffing attacks, you need to go with the encrypted sessions only. Remember. And next thing is restrict the access to the physical access to your network services. So if you see an organization, only the admin can have the access to the network services. So restrict the physical accesses to network media, where to ensure that a packet sniffer cannot be installed here. All right. So these are the some mitigation techniques where you can implement to your sniffing attacks. Got it? So use switch instead of a hub. Use secure protocols instead of unsecure one. And use some tools to determine if any NIC is running in the promiscuous mode or not. Or use some access control list to allow the access only to a fixed range of trusted IP addresses in a network. Like that, you can build some defensive strategies here to restrict from the sniffing attacks. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? So go with the some countermeasures. So as I told you, I have given tasks for you guys. So only few. I can say only 10 to 15 members they have done with the task. So remaining 80%, they are not doing the task. I can see only few older version documents only till. So try to go through that assignments and test attendances are very important here. So try to concentrate on them. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes. So make sure everyone, you guys also go through this, like how Sheikh did, right? And today we'll go with a new model called DOS attack. So how many of you are aware of these DOS and DDoS attacks? So how many of you are aware of DOS and DDoS attack? Anyone? So in the name itself, we have denial of service. So it denies the services to the legitimate users. For example, you are having access to your systems. You guys will have access to your systems, right? So what if I flood your network or your system with huge amount of traffic or huge amount of data? What happened? Your system can't handle that, and it will try to shut down, or it will try to hang there itself. So at the time, will you able to access that system? As a owner of that system, will you guys able to access the services of your system? No, right? If I make a huge, if I try to send some huge amount of requests or packets or data to your system, so while it can receive only the certain amount of data, so on that basis, if I'm sending oversized or overloaded data to you, will your system able to handle that? No, right? So it will restrict the access. Example, take your results day. You have the result day, right? You'll get the results, right? So where you'll see your results in your website, right? In your college websites. Yes or no? Yes or no? I think you guys will see your results in your college websites only, right? Right. So have you faced these things like server is not available or any kind of these issues? Have anyone faced that? Right. So why you got that? Like why you'll get that scenario every time? Why you'll get that? On results day, when you try to access that server, it says server down or something related to that. Why you get that message? How many members are trying to use it? Actually, imagine this is your server. Okay. So this is your system. Imagine. So in regular days, everyone will visit the website. In normal days, how will be the traffic of the server? Only few requests. You won't access the server like web server every day, right? Only few requests will be there. Imagine this capacity of the server is some 1,000 requests per second. Imagine the capacity of server is 1,000 requests per second. Per second, I'm talking in per second base, not per day, per second. Okay. So in normal days, obviously you can see per second, no one will, those many people we don't have. So your server won't get that many requests in normal days. But on a result day, at the same time, it'll do that request. Right? Many people will request for the server. Means it can handle only 1,000 requests. What if I do the 2,000 requests? 2,000 people are requesting this server at the same time. What happens here? Will it able to handle that request? Will it able to handle that server, that traffic there? Will it able to handle that? No. Right. So what happened? Overloaded. The server will be overloaded with huge amount of requests. So it will stop responding for that request. Responding for the request. So that is how the server will get down. The server will be down at the time. So because of the overloaded. In normal days, you can see it is only few requests you can see in normal days. But on the result day, you can see that particular certain time, there are many huge amount of requests that face by the server. So on that day, it can't able to handle too many requests. So it will stop responding for that request. That is what happened in in this particular scenario. So same DOS also denial of service where it will send some fake request to the servers and it makes the server overloaded and it makes them down. So when a legitimate user trying to access this website, will it able to get them? Will they able to access the service? No. So this guy also won't access to this service. So what happened here? What happens here? What will be the impact of DOS? Anyone? What will be the impact here? Anyone? Any idea? Imagine, I'll give another example. There is a user. There is a Flipkart and there is a Amazon. There is big billions sale is going on, and in that Prime sale is going on. So the user visited the Flipkart. When it's trying to access the Flipkart.com, the site is not able to reach. Means the site is not reachable. So what this guy will do? He'll visit the Amazon. From here, he'll purchase the product and he'll go. So, is there anything lost by the user? Is there any impact on the user here? Or is there any impact on the Amazon here? No, right? So, where is the impact here? Flipkart. What impact they have? They lost the customer. They lost the means they even can't sell the product there. So financial loss, the reputation loss, or there is a chance for temporary or permanent closure of that company. Means completely a business loss. There is a huge amount of business loss when the data is not available for the legitimate users. So if you remember the information security, we have a concept called availability, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If you remember that. So the availability is whenever the data is required by the end user, they have to provide the data. That is what the thing we call here as a availability. So what if the data is not available? There is a chance for business loss. So behind that business loss, there is an attacks like DOS and DDoS on them. Got it? So here the attacker sent some fake request to the Flipkart and making the site is down, making the site down. So when the site is down, obviously the legitimate user can't able to access the site. So he'll go to the another site. From there it purchases. So here is going to lose the clients or customers. So which impacts the business. So that is why it is one of the illegal attack. You should not perform the DDoS or DOS attack. It is completely illegal to perform them. It's completely illegal. So to just know, just to aware of these kind of activities, so we are going with the DOS and DDoS, but actually you should not perform that. Just here we are going to know what types of attacks we have, how to mitigate them, and what are the countermeasures we defend against this attack. That is what we are going to learn. Okay. So in the name itself, we have denial of service, which is nothing but reducing or restricting or preventing the access of the system to the legitimate users. That is what the denial of service do by sending some fake request here. Is that clear, everyone? Right. So a DOS attack is an attack on a computer or a network where it reduces, restricts, or prevent access to system resources for legitimate users. That is what we call as a DOS attack. So where attacker flood a victim system, flood in the sense continuously sending some non-legitimate traffic or overloaded resources to the target website or target system and bring down the systems leading to the unavailability of the victim's website, or at least a significant reducing the victim's network or system's performance. That is what we call as a DOS attack. So the goal of DOS attack is to keep the legitimate users from using the system. That is what the main intention. So when I perform the DOS attack, am I getting the access to the target system? Or am I getting any data here by performing the DOS? What do you say? Am I getting any access to these network or systems here? Or no? We are not getting any access of the data or access of the system here. Just we are denying or making the systems or networks down. That's it. So the goal of DOS attack is to keep legitimate users away from using the system, rather than to gain the unauthorized access to the system or to corrupt the data. So yeah, we are not doing those things. Just we are restricting the access to the systems from the users. That is what we call as a DOS. So what is DDoS here then? What is DDoS? So it's a distributed denial of service. So what is the difference of these two? What is the difference of these two? What is the difference of DOS and DDoS? Anyone? Do you have any idea about the DOS and DDoS? So you can say this is the DDoS scenario. No, actually DDoS use multiple users. So DOS actually is, this is a system, this is the internet, and this is the server. So using a single system performing the attack is called DOS. Using a single system and sending multiple requests to the server is called DOS. When it comes to the DDoS, using multiple systems and sending the request to the server means here we use some compromised devices called as a botnet. Called as a botnets. So botnets are nothing but the compromised devices. Botnets are nothing but the compromised devices means the attacker perform the attack on these bots, and using these bots he perform the attack on the target system. Means it's not directly involving in the attack. He use some botnets and send the request through these botnets. So imagine only using single system, we are sending some 1,000 requests per second. What if I use a multiple system and each system is sending 1,000 requests? Which one will be more impact here, DOS or DDoS? Which one will be the more impact here, DOS or DDoS? In DOS, remember, only we use single system and send multiple requests on the target. When it comes to the DDoS, we use multiple systems and send multiple requests to the server. So obviously the impact will be on DDoS. So to perform the DDoS, again, I need a botnets. So botnet setup is not an easy thing here, to be frankly saying. So why? Because botnet setup means you need to host a server. In that server, you need to bring the compromised systems together and perform the attack. So I'll show you how the botnets are set up here. So how botnets will be created in the sense simple, like compromising your device through phishings or through this social engineering. They'll compromise your device and connect you people to the servers. From there, they'll work out on this particular scenario. So I hope it's visible for you. So if you see here in this scenario, there is an attacker, right? So what attacker is doing here is set up the command and control server and crimeware. Two servers is hosting. Two servers. Just see carefully here how the botnets are set up. Two servers are hosting here, right? So one is command and control server. One is toolkit server. Means it contains some viruses, some malwares here. So what attacker do is he'll recruit some affiliation networks, some websites he will host, and he hosts some hardwares in that website, and he redirect the victim's malicious website using the phishing or social engineering technique. And once the victim connected to this particular website, it will drop a malware in their system. Once he clicked on that malware, the system will be connected to the command and control server. Once the command and control server is connected to his system, it acts as a bot. Now attacker will connect to this command and control server, and the bots will receive the instruction from the command and control center to attack the primary target. And these fellows will start attacking the server. Means how they are compromising your devices in the sense by performing some social engineering or performing some phishing or performing through some random, what you can say, this adwares, right? Using some malware techniques like Trojans. So through this, they'll take the control of your device and connect you people to this command and control server. Once you connect to the server, automatically attacker will connect to this command and control server because he has set that service, and he'll give the instruct to you people, and you'll perform the attack on this organization. Again, you can see multiple botnets we have here. Botnets are nothing but here the compromised devices. Are you getting that? So using these compromised device only, they'll perform the attack. So for that, you need to set up the servers here. One is crimeware toolkit database. Another one is Trojan, which is command and control servers. And how they make you to connect to the servers in the sense, as I mentioned, social engineering they'll do. They'll do some phishing, they'll go with some adware, they'll go with some malware techniques, and they'll control your system. Simple. So that is how the botnets are to be set up. And using these botnets, they'll perform the attack. That is what we call as a distributed denial of service. So as you can see here, yeah, will try to compromise your device and connect you to this control server. Once you're part of this control server, obviously attacker will connect to you and perform the attack on the target server. So that is how the DDoS will work. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right. So we have different types of DDoS attacks here. Okay. So the types of DOS and DDoS attacks are three categories. One is volumetric attack. Another one is protocol attacks. And another one is application layer attacks. There are three different attacks you can see here. So when it comes to the volumetric attack, simple. You can remember this. Here, the magnitude of attack measures in bits per second. Bits per second. You agree my point? Here, the magnitude of attack measures in bits per second scenario. Means mostly depends on the packet size what they are sending here. Got it? Right. Means mostly it aims the target system with a sheer flood of traffic like data or ping request. When it comes to the protocol attack, here the magnitude of attack measures in packets per second. Packets per second. Here they'll send the bits of data, here the packet of data, and here in application layer, it's request per second. The website based scenario, request per second. So volumetric attack. So mostly it aims to overwhelm the target system with a flood of traffic like data or ping request. When it comes to the protocol, so it exploits the weakness in the protocols used for communication, like TCP/IP protocols they'll target. Volumetric in the sense, as I just mentioned, application in the sense, again, target specific the vulnerabilities in the application layer of the target system. So it request per second scenario. So these are the three different types of DOS and DDoS attacks we have. If you see the volumetric based attack, simple, there is an attack called ping of death. We call it as ping of death or SMOF attack, right? So if you see here, let me open, it's a basic attack where you can use your command prompt itself. So let me ping some make mytrip.com example. So is it sending the packets? Is it sending the packets? Are you getting the response? Right. So it sends 4 packets and receives the 4 packets. So means it is responding. So how many size of data is sent here? Some 32 bytes of data, right? So what if I go with -L and some size of 2000? Are you getting any response here now? Or let me stop, go with the 200 bytes of data. Is it accepting that? It is accepting, right? Right. So if you see, when I went for oversized, if you see oversized scenario, automatically your system is not responding for that request. And the target system is not responding for that request. Why? Because it is receiving the amount in huge, means it receiving the traffic in a huge amount of data size. So where it can't handle that, size of data, where it can't handle that size of data. In response, you won't get anything. So it may be chance of crashing the system of yours or your target system by sending a oversized packet here. So that scenario we called as a ping of death here. Got it? So ping of death is nothing but where attacker tries to crash or destabilize or freeze the target system or service by sending a malformed or oversized packet using a simple ping command. Right? That is what the ping of death scenario is. And smurf attack is same scenario, but here I'm spoofing the IP address of target. So let me take it here. So you can see. So where attacker is sending the ICMP echo request and received by the server, and where it is giving the response to the victim means obviously for I'm sending some packet size of 1000 MB to the server, and server is returning back that response to the victim. So where victim also received the 1000 MB data. So what happened? It can't handle that and it will be destabilize or freeze or crash the system. That is what this move. So the attacker spoofs the source IP address with the victim's IP address and send a large number of ICMP echo request packets to a IP broadcast network. So these cause all the hosts on the network to respond to the receiver ICMP echo. So receiver in the sense, obviously the victim. Why? Because he spoofed the IP address with the victim's IP in that request. So obviously, when I request the server, it responds to the victim. Why? Because source address belongs to the victim only. So on that basis, it receives a huge amount of data on the system and it will be crashed. So this is completely a ping of death and smurf attack, we call it. So it's completely comes under the volumetric based attacks, right? And when it comes to the protocol based attack, here the packets per second scenario. So I'm sending some SYN packet or a UDP packet or TCP packet. I'm trying to flood them on the target machine and see whether it can able to handle the packets or not. We'll see that. So for that, I'm going to use a tool called HPing3. HPing3. So here I'll take my target as a Windows 7 and attacker as a Kali. Let me take both machines here. So this is my Windows. So make sure it depends on the bandwidth which you're having. So you should have a good bandwidth for that. Let me log into my Kali. All right. So to perform this protocol-based attack, I'm going to use a source called HPing3. Okay. So I'll go with man and HPing3. So just go with the description and let me know what is the difference between the ping and HPing3. Can anyone? So we use ping command also, right? Just now we use ping, right? And what is the difference of ping and hping 3? Anyone? Just read the description and let me know what is the difference of these two. Anyone? What is the difference of ping and hping 3? Just read the description. Here you have, right? Just see in the description itself you have the answer. Size. Mm, Any other? No. So simple. What packets will send in ping command? Can I send this SYNC packet, TCP packet, UDP packet in ping command? I can't do that, right? It sends only ICMP packet. So there I can't customize the packet. But when it comes to the HPing, here itself they mentioned you can send custom TCP IP packets. That is what the major difference of ping and hping 3 here. So you can send a customized packets here. Okay. So let's perform that. So we have many other options. You can check it when you go with hyphen help. So let's go with hyphen help and see what are the options it contains. So if you want to mention the data size, you can mention the data size, safe mode of protocols, and you can see you can use all these protocols. You can set these flags and send the packet. You can spoof the source. What is this hyphen random? It sends some random IP address as a request base. Hyphen flood in the sense it sends packet as fast as possible, and it don't look for any response back for that. So simple. I'm going to flood now. So if you see your target system, let me open the Kali. Let me go to the task manager. And if you see the performance, what is the CPU usage in general? It is below 10%, right? It is below 10%. And even your memory is 530 MB something it is going. So now when I use this hping 3 hyphen s, I'm sending some SYN packet. I have customized the packet. I'm sending some SYN packet here, and hyphen flood and hyphen random source, and can give the target IP. So what is my target IP here? (207). So before running this flood, again make sure to check the usage. So it's one below 10%, right? Now run this, it won't show you the response. It sends continuously the SYN packet. So if you see there is a increase of CPU, if you observe, can you see the increase of CPU? It went high. So wait for a while. It takes some time here. Depends on your complete bandwidth, complete your network bandwidth. It depends the attack also. So if you have a good internet speed, if you have a good thing, obviously it sends huge amount of traffic. So there is an increase in your physical memory also. What if your CPU goes to 100? Or if your CPU utilization is 100 there? What happened? What happened? What if your CPU, your complete CPU is 100% utilized? What happened here? System will crash, right? It will hang there itself, right? So obviously your system will get attacked. Means it will be degraded the service, right? So like that, you can customize the packet. Let me try some other HPing. Let me go with some -P 480. Go with 192.168.0.207. Run some packet better. I use -iPhone flat 2. So you need to have some prerequisites like a good internet connection and the TCP sync flood attack tool like HPing3 or Netcat, or the IP addresses of the target server. You should be there. And remember, it is unethical thing. So don't do it. So you can try on the sites also. So you can see continuously if you see that with Wireshark. Wait for a while. Even you can see the CPU usage of your Kali also, where in response you're getting huge amount of traffic there. If you see this thing, can you see? It's continuously sending the send request. Continuously it's sending. Right. So that's how the things work here. So you can see even you can give the count also. Like iPhone C, I'm giving some lakhs of packets to be sent. iPhone D, every packet set should be some 220 size of data. It should be sent and send it. Where now target will receive the data packet also here with the size of 220. Wait for a while. Take some time actually. All right. Uh, Maybe it is taking time here. But yeah, let me stop this process. You can see there is a response delay. Can you see that? You can see my system got hacked. It was stuck. Can't close this. Even I can't stop this attack. It was stuck. Can you see that? Got crashed here. I need to restart the machine. So that is what happens here. If you wait for a while, yeah, it receives a huge amount of traffic there. Now you can see it went for zero. All right. So that is how the things happen here. So make sure while you're performing them, be careful. So it may there is a chance of corrupting your system also. Why? Because I'm doing on my virtual machine, so they are all connected to the same network. So it is affecting my network here. So now we'll go with the application scenario. website basis. So you have a metasploitable server, right? So have a metasploitable server, everyone. So just open the metasploitable. I can't go with live sites. It's completely offensive. So I'm going with the server, the host server, what we are having. Okay. So make sure you can go with the metasploitable server and take the Kali Linux as your attacker machine. Okay. So now attacker is Kali, and now I'm just turning off this Windows. Just you can try the hping 3 on Windows and see there. Okay. So now I'm going with the Kali Linux and I'm going with the metasploitable as a victim system. Just turn it down. By default, you have a local server uh, in your metasploitable server. You know that, right? So just take the IP address of that metasploitable server and perform the attack. So MSF admin and MSF admin, and go with the IP address if config. So it is having the IP address 0.20, sorry, 230. So it's 192.168.0.230. If you see, let me open my Firefox. So when I type the IP address 192.168.0.230, so you can see the metasploitable 2, and you have the DVWA, and you have a local server. It's a local server. So where you can log in admin and admin password. So you can able to log into this website. Now is that loading? Is that able to receive that? Will you able to will you able to visit this site? Yes, you can see we are able to visit that site, right? So now let me go with root and go with login, right? So to perform this attack, you can go with hping 3 also, but I'm using a separate tool called Metasploit framework. So do you remember the Metasploit framework? Do you guys remember the Metasploit framework? No. What is the command to run the Metasploit framework? To perform the system hacking, you perform the VSFTPD exploitation using the Metasploit framework only, right? Great. MSF console. So just load that. Mm, just wait a while. Yeah, now you got that right. So now search for sin flood. Just search for the sin flood. So let's see, you have one auxiliary, right? So what is the command to load that module? Use 0. Now I'm inside that module. So once you inside the module, what is the next thing you have to do? Show options, look for the prerequisites. So here you have the interface, so it's not mandatory. And number of sync flood you want to send, no. Why? Because it will go with ultimate request. And then our host, you need to set your target, and our port is 80 only. It's a website based port, so we can go with 80 port. And as host is nothing but spoofable source addresses, and number of bytes to capture, you can go with this. And no option for a sports spoof ports, or else it will go with randomized port numbers. And timeout scenario around 500 requests it's sent. So now simple set r host, remaining all I have been set. Sorry, r host, which is 192.168.0.230, which is my metasploitable server, and then go with run. So when I run that, can you see it start performing the sync flood on the 230 80 port, 80 request. So obviously 80 request instance, I need to go with this website. So let me click on DVWA. Now can you able to see, is that loading the website? Is that loading the website here? No. You can see it's not able to load the website. Any website here, it is not able to load. Let me stop this attack here. Control C. Now go to the browser. Now click on DVWA. Is that loading the page? You can get back. Click on DVWA. Now it's loading. Refresh. It's loading. Get back. Click on this militail. Loading. PHP admin. Loading. DVWA. Loading. But when I perform the attack again, let me try this exploit here. Wait for a while. Sometimes it takes time. Don't think like it will load immediately. You need to wait for a while. Just wait. Just wait for a while. Maybe because of the bandwidth, it is not taking for the second time. So why? Because we stopped that. But wait for a while. Wait for a while. Definitely it will work. Alright. Sorry, just a second. They have some other alternate tools also. Like you can go with this tool called Slow. Can try this one. And Hulk. Can type GitHub Hulk. The Python scripts only. You can go with this tool also. Okay. And that is called Golden Eye GitHub. It is also a DDoS tool. DOS tool. Mostly you won't see the DOS tools only. DDoS, you need to set up a server base and you need to configure the compromised devices to that server. Then you can perform the DDoS, but we go with the DOS based only all these things. And there's a tool called Loic and Haik also. You can try these tool also. So denial of service attack application. So which is designed to attack as many as URLs at the same time. So you can try these tool also. Make sure it's an offensive not to do that activities, but you can try them on. Don't go with the live sites again, it's an offensive. So remember, just try to do that on your own sites. UC house 0.30 run. So it's sending some send request. You can see it's sending some send request and need to check whether it is loading the site or not. You can see there is a delay. Okay, you can try. Can't able to load the sites. Any site you can't. PHP admin it is loading. It's not overloading even web tab. So you can see it is down now. Right. So for that, yeah, you should have a good bandwidth here. And even you can try this slow risk tool also. So it's a Perl tool, I think so. Python, we have a look for Perl tool. There is a Perl based slow risk, which is written in Perl. Yeah, you can try this too. So let me copy. So you know, right, how to go with the GitHub repositories. So open your terminal. Let me stop this flooding attack. So you can try that sync flood also. Now, git clone, enter, stop this. Sure. Right. So CD, go to that particular sorry, the tool. Right. And go with ls. It's a Perl tool. Go with Perl. Stories.pl. Run that. And simple hyphen DNS. Go with your target domain. Okay. Uh, target domain, if you ask me. But it's in college. So see, don't go with it's only for educational purpose. How many of you from SRK are? So there is a website like Sri. So again, it's an offensive to perform them. So it's an educational purpose and I'm going with this. Again, it requires a huge bandwidth. If you contribute from your end, that's fine. So you can also go and run this. So it's sending some request, continuous request to the target. And let's see, will it make it down? See, it should have good bandwidth. If sent from two or three systems, that's fine. It will work out. So I'm doing from a single system. So it is not having that much of impact. Let me remove this HTTPS. Oh, just let me load this website. Is that site reachable for you guys? I'm sharing the link in the chat box. Just see, is that site reachable or not for you guys? Just visit that site. Maybe some people can get access, some people. Whoever getting the access, try to read, like click on that. Is that reachable, the site? Already you're getting. Try to reload that again. Anyone who is not getting that site, is that reachable? Won't reach actually. SR means is that reachable or not? Just it is reachable, mention as reachable. If not, not reachable. Just let me know. It's reachable. It's reachable. Is there anyone who can do this again with me? Make it a DDoS. We'll try. Will it reachable or not? Only from single system. So maybe actually it won't reach for you because of my bandwidth. Okay, only few packets sends. Let's go with Hulk. Just try from your end also. Maybe if multiple systems sending the request, it will be down sometimes. For me, it's getting down, and I can see some people also not able to reach. So it's a Python script. So Python .py. So let me go with the version P. Right. So it's version 2, it's working. And let me take the URL. Now look for that site. Now look for that. Is it down? Let's see few people it's down for them. Okay, it depends on the bandwidth. So still it is loading for me, and you can see the site is site. There is another sites also. I can't go with them, so I have permission with this college. So again, I'm showing that for you. There is another sites. You can try. Just see whether it is down or not. It will be down actually. You can try them, but yeah. So like this, you can make it send some like why it was down in the sense as you know as I mentioned at the beginning itself, the overload means as I told you it can handle only the certain limit of packets only. If it is over than that, what happened? The site will be overloaded and it can't reach the thing. So now how you can prevent them? How you can prevent these kind of attacks? Hmm? So simple. How many of you are aware of these load balancers? How many of you are aware of the load balancers here? Anyone? Have you heard about these things before? Load balancer. Take an image for you. Yeah, it balances the traffic list. So actually what organizations they do is to prevent from these kind of attacks, they'll go with these load balancers here. Okay. So these load balancers, what they do is they'll manage the traffic. They distribute the traffic accordingly, the data what they maintain, right? So you can see. So as you know, for example, what if I use a single server here? So for example, I'm using a single server. So the server capacity is some 2000 requests per second. Okay. So what a client is sending some lack of requests, will it able to handle that? No. So at the time, obviously, based on your infrastructure, you need to go with the deployment of the servers. So as you know, there are a huge amount of users you are having, right? So if, a single server can't handle that request. So imagine per second, Google is receiving some millions of requests, right? Per second, the Google is receiving some millions of requests. What a single server can handle that? Do you think a single server can handle that? No. So what they do? Regionally, they'll go with the regionally, they will go with the multiple servers. Okay. So in this region, these many servers, in this region, these many servers, like that. Regionally, they distribute the servers and they'll configure them to a centralized source. So whenever you do any request, whatever the nearest server we have, it will reach that and get the information. If that server is busy, it sends that request to the another server. Same here also, whenever the clients request anything, it will go to the load balancer. So where load balancer will distribute the traffic. You're getting my point? Where the load balancer will distribute the traffic here. Okay. So there are many different load balancers we have here. Like we have F5, a big IP platform we have, AWS, Elastic Load Balancers we have, Citrix, Proxy, like that. There are different types of where they have the 75%, 10%, 8%, 3.3% of market shares here. So where they perform a huge amount of managing services in the load balancer basis, right? So you can implement the software based load balancers or hardware based load balancers according to your network infrastructure. So these load balancers are kind of a devices here where that sits between the user and the server group and acts as an invisible facilitator, so ensuring that all resources serves are used equality or equally, right? So if this server is busy, obviously it sends the 1000 requests to this and it will distribute the another 1000 requests to this server, another 1000 requests to this server, another 1000 requests to this server, and again 1 second is done, another like that. It will start distributing that request to the servers. That is how it manages that request. Got it? So again, load balancing algorithms will be there. So it works to steer the traffic to a pool of available servers through various load balancing algorithms. If more resources are needed, additional servers can be added also here. And a load balancer help check the applications on the server to determine its availability. And that's how it works. So it's a process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources. So with the aim of making them overall processing more efficient. And even it can optimize the response time and avoid unevenly overloading some compute nodes while other computer nodes are left idle. So that's how it distribute the traffic to multiple sources here, right? So that is what load balancing. Is that clear, everyone? So they implement the load balancers. And how many of you heard about these services like Cloudflare or Acme, F5, or DDoS code, anti-code service? Have you seen them? Have you heard about the Cloudflare? No. If you see in Google, if you go for the Google about the Cloudflare, one of the DDoS mitigation service actually that provides one of the service called DDoS mitigation. In this, it's a kind of CDNs. They are CDNs actually, content delivery of network. They are actually. So these CDNs will help you to prevent from these DDoS attacks. So there is a Cloudflare also. So can you see, as I mentioned, one of the service they are providing is DDoS mitigation. So what these Cloudflares do is, we call them as a CDNs here. So it's a content delivery network services. So what they do is, if you observe, even your Tesla.com, all they are using the Acme services. So as a user, whenever you request like Tesla.com or any other .com, do you think it will directly go to this Tesla server? Do you think will it directly go to the Tesla server actually? No. What they do is they use some CDN services like Cloudflare or Acme. So whatever you request first, it will go to this service. It will filter that, and then it will allow that request to the Tesla. Means there is no direct involvement here, nowhere. So these services will analyze the traffic, whatever it is getting. If it is a DOS attack or DDoS attack, it can easily analyze and manage them. That is what the use of the CDNs. So many organizations they implement these kind of CDNs like Cloudflare or Acme, all these services to prevent from a direct attack. So here you're not having direct IP address of Tesla. First, it will reach to the Acme as the DNS server base. Then Acme will process that request. So there is no direct connection with the target here. So that's how your Cloudflare or these services will work. And even you have a tool called LBD load balancer to check whether the target is having any load balancing services or not. It mostly contains the false positive. So remember, means if there is a load balancer also, sometimes it says that there is no load balancer. So to avoid these kind of things, it's an open source tool, so where it won't give any accurate data here. So we have LBD. LBD is a tool, so it's a load balancing detector of 0.4 version here, and checks if a given domain uses any load balancing or not. So you can check whether the target is using the load balancers or not. Accordingly, you can check that it will give. So you can see it found the load balancers. You can see these many services we have. So the server it is using is the Vanish server, and the load balancers they're using. Okay. So for example, just now we performed on srisai.ac.in, right? So can you see, is there any load balancer? No, actually. So that is why there is a possibility of attack on that websites. So don't do that. It's completely offensive. Remember, I'm not going in detail about that. This is how they send fake request to the target. Whatever we performed is the DOS attack only, not DDoS, because we don't have any botnet setup here. Whatever the attack we performed is the DOS attack only. And make sure I'm using a single system and sending the multiple requests. So where there won't be much impact on them. But though if it is a business related site, it will be completely impacts the business, obviously. So be careful while performing these attacks. It's completely offensive base. Remember, it's illegal to perform the DOS and DDoS attack. Again, I'm telling you, while you're performing on live sites, be careful. So I won't suggest that. So try to do on the server, whatever we hosted, and see whether the server is getting down or not. Accordingly, you can implement some strategies there, right? So some of the strategies are implementing the load balancing or implementing some DDoS and DOS tools also. So I'll view the document in that I have mentioned everything, right? I have mentioned everything about the mitigation things like tools, what tools we use, the services we use. So you can go with that. Where is DOS? Yeah. So I'm sharing the document in the chart. Try to get that. Are you getting the documents to your mails? Make sure to check your spams. So sometimes it is going to the spam. So just check that and get it. Okay. So here at the last, I have mentioned these tools. So some DDoS protection tools will be there, like real-time hardware tools will be there. You can go through that. And services also you can implement like Acme service, block DDoS or Nextcloud, Stormwall, like that you have. And even you have the techniques to detect them. So active profiling in the sense you need to monitor your network and see the packet, analyze the packet. You're getting the request from, I think means you're getting the request from the same packet itself as a many. So you can detect that as a suspicious and block that activity there. And sequential change detection points. So where there will be an algorithms which filters the traffic by their address, port, protocol, and store that information as a resultant. If it receives the many times, it will block that activity. And third thing is wavelet based. Wavelet based in the sense just now I have shown, right? So when you go to the task manager, you can see in performances, it will be in graph basis. right? So if the wavelet is increasing, so immediately they'll check is there any activity or a huge amount of traffic. Obviously, when it is increasing, that means your system is receiving a huge amount of data there or the service there. So accordingly, they'll detect that by monitoring the network of these wavelets and stop that activity there itself. Got it? So it will stop the activity there itself, and it performs some DDoS mitigation service and block the traffic, right? So just by analyzing this. So one of the biggest attack, if you say, is GitHub. It happened. So if you see in 2018, I think it happened, and even it happened for the Google also. GitHub DDoS attack. If you search it in 2018, one of the biggest attack you can say. They received around 1.3 TPPS, a terabytes per second. They got that packet. Means per second, how many packets they are sending per second? How many packets they received? 126.9 million packets they receive. And you can see the wavelet here. Can you see? So before it was at this level, suddenly the graph of the packet it receives was in around 1.35 TB. So based on this wavelet increase also, we can check the detection. So wavelet-based signal analysis. So wavelet analysis describes the signal in terms of spectral components. So analyze the each spectral window's energy, determine the presence of the anomalies. So wavelet-based signals analysis analysis the filter out the behavior traffic flow input signal from the background noises also by seeing this particular graph here. Okay, so you can see these ways of analyzing is also kind of analyzing, and even you can see the increase of HTTP request. So immediately it will analyze that float window and stop that activity. That is what the detection techniques, right? And the countermeasures you can see, and DOS and DDoS techniques. So your task for the next session is everyone make sure go with what is DOS and DDoS attack, everyone, and uh, how DDoS works. Just check that. Next thing is how botnet are set up, right? And I need the mitigation and detection techniques. DDoS. So this is the task for you for the next session. I think it's all right. So this is your task for next session. So just go through these things and come to the next session. Got it? Send in the task in the chart. Just go through that. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? So see the load balancers also possible. Try to set up the load balancer. So assignment questions for about session 27. Assignment 1, I didn't get that. What is the topic? Uh, I'm not having any idea what questions they are giving for you. What are the questions they asked? Session 20 in the sense what we have in session 20. Is it clear everyone about the DOS and DDoS? Just confirm me that. So tomorrow grand test is there, okay. So just now the team informed us that there is a grand test tomorrow, but they didn't set the timings. So timings of grand test. Is there anyone from the black box?
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone from black box? Yeah. Akil, are you there?
Yeah.
They're asking for the test timing.
Sir, actually, it's the test will be open like till March end.
Okay,
So
it's open. So
we are
anytime
just
they can
sending
write.
question paper at 8 o'clock, night 8.
Tomorrow night 8 or today?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night 8, sir.
Tomorrow at night 8, and it will be open for
Till March end.
March end.
Yeah.
Okay, so at any time
But
they
they
can
can
do.
access it. But they can access it only once.
Okay, they can access it to only once. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Oh.
So yeah, guys, so I think you got that right. So the test will be activated tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and you have only one attempt. Make sure about that. So single attempt will be there. So prepare well and go for the test. So it will be the end of the test will be up to March end. So almost it is day 25. So you have 5 days more. So means up to Sunday you have that to access the test. So in between you can write any time. Okay. All right. So prepare well and write, guys. Okay. Go further. All right. So we almost left with 4 modules here. So today we done with the DOS and DDoS. So we left with like we have the social engineering. In next session we'll discuss about the social engineering techniques. Then we'll go with some firewalls. We'll see what are the firewalls, and then we'll see the cryptography and the web application pen testing introduction will be there. So almost we left with these topics. So we'll complete that. Okay. And make sure everyone try to complete the assignments, everyday task, whatever I'm giving, make that as an assignments, and make sure go for that, do that in practical, whatever the practicals we discussed, go with the practical basis, do that and submit that in the drive, everyone. And make sure still people are going with the private only, means they're making the drive as in private only. Try to make it to public. So if it is in private, we won't consider that assignment. Again, I'm telling you that. So make sure make it to public and don't share the document. Go with the drive folder basis. Okay, share the folder, not the particular document link there. Don't go with the single document link. Go with the drive link of the folder, not file. Okay. Again, I'm telling you. So try to complete. I can see only few people done with the task. We'll filter that. I'll get back to you again, and I'll show you who made what mistakes, how many tasks you've done, everything. I'll go with that. We'll review that definitely. I'll review that complete tasks. Make sure some people I can see there is key ready or something. Some guy. I can see some people's document in your drive. I don't know why it is. Please check that. Okay. For example, see we have a key ready, right? So this is Ganesh task, like it's Ganesh task, right? and I can see the same task in someone's. Again, I can see the same task in this folder. Who's this? Like Sheikh Hussein. I can see some other people. He submitted the some others people document, and whatever the documents have shared for you, he submitted the same documents. Some Nikita document I can see, Ramya document I can see, Ganesh document I can see. Like who's this? We won't consider that. So make sure. All right. So we'll review that soon. I'll review all these things. So make sure go with a proper base. Got it? So try to submit in a proper way. I'll review that and I'll give the update for you guys. Clear everyone? And make sure you have to complete all the tasks, whatever the task I have given. Almost it is 19th session. So I think every session you have the task. So almost there should be some 15 to 19 tasks should be done. But I can see only 5 to 10 only in that. So total 14 tasks, right? So yeah, only I can see 10 to 5 to 10 tasks only in few. And I can see only the guy, Munna, I can see we done almost all the tasks. So make sure just go through that, everyone. Okay. Just try to do the task and submit that in the drive. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? So any doubts? All good? That's it. So that's it for today, guys. So thank you. Thank you for attending the session. Have a great day. Thank you. So can we send all the tasks at a time which we didn't do? Yeah, you can send that at the end of the sessions. Almost we left with 4 to 5 modules. That's it. So before that, make sure to submit everything. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the attending the session. Have a great day. See you in next session.